That?
Yeah.
Is it still on?
I just did that. That's unbelievable.
Slide down a little bit. That one.
Slide it.
Are we on? Ready to go, Rabbi Isai? Yeah?
Literally.
Is it 7:15? Okay. Today's daf is Ayin Tes. We're going to start from Ayin Ches on the base on the bottom by the Mishnah. We did the Mishnah yesterday. We'll just review it real quickly. It says the Mishnah, Shchata chutz lezmano. We're talking about the Toida. So if you shechted it with the intent of pigul of chutz lezman, v'chutz lemkoima, the Mishnah says both have the same halacha. Chutz lezman and chutz lemakom. We're going to see that Rabbi Yehuda is mechulik. What's the halacha? Kodesh halachem. He says, look, we'll see. We will see. No. Pigul is intent of chutz lezman, and chutz l'makom is another halacha. One chutz lezman is a chi of kares, and chutz l'makom is not a chi of kares, and that's exactly the discussion of the Gemara. We'll see. That's exactly it. So what's the halacha? He made a carbon that's basically pasul. Yet that carbon that he made pasul has the power in it to be mekadesh the lechem. Shechata v'nimtza streifa loy kadesh halechem. If they found that the animal that you shechted was pasul from beforehand already, before you even started, it was a treifa, then it doesn't have the power to be mekadesh the lechem. Now, in the Mishnah, we could also mention that chutz l'mkoima, chutz l'zmana at least, chutz l'mkoima, according to this Mishnah, there's the halacha of it made enough gedusha in the animal that him alala yered. In other words, we're going to see, we'll explain better later, but there is some gedusha to the animal. Even though you had the wrong intent, the animal still has a little bit of gedusha that if you put it on the mizbeach, don't take it off. But typically you have an animal that it doesn't have gedusha at all. If it's a treifa and you put it on the mizbeach, take it off right away. This, it has a little bit of gedusha, and we're going to explain. Shchata v'nimtzis balas mum. Now, is there any difference logically right now between a bal mum and a treifa? A treifa, we said, lichatchila never had business being in the Beis Hamikdash. So if you shechted it, it has no effect on the bread. There's no gedusha to the bread. What about a bal mum? Says the Mishnah, tremendous chiddush. Rebbe Eliezer omer kodesh. According to Rebbe Eliezer, it's kodesh. V'chacham omer lo kodesh. So we have to understand what the difference is between a bal mum and treifa. Why should there be any difference? So, just as a sneak peek to what the Gemara says, there is no difference really, unless we're talking about a bal mum, which is a cataract. It's a special one case of a mum. It's the weakest mum possible. So that does have a little bit of kedusha to the point that the bread becomes kaddish. What if you shechted it with the wrong intent? That's different than shechting it with the intent of pigul and chutz lezman. V'chein eila meluim v'chein shnei kibsi atzer sheshachtem shloi lishmon loy kodesh halechem. Since you had loy lishma, then it's different than chutz lezman and chutz l'makom. Over here, there's no kedusha at all, and it's no good. And the Mishnah brings a case of Eila Miluim. The Gemara is going to discuss why don't we bring a more popular case. Eila Miluim was one time in history. There's a much more popular case of Eil Nazir. We're going to see later. Says the Gemara, Masnisim Mani Rebbe Meir. So we have a Machlokes, Rebbe Meir and Rebbe Yehuda. And our Mishnah could only go according to Rebbe Meir, who says that Chutz Lezman and Chutz L'makom are the same. According to Rebbe Yehuda, they're different. That what? The Sanya Zeh HaKlal. Kol shebisuloi koydem shchito. So now we're starting today, basically. So we did a 5-minute reverse just to get on page, but Baruch Hashem, it's not that hard. Zeh HaKlal says Rebbe Meir. Kol shebisuloi koydem shchita. If you came to the Beis Hamikdash with the carbon that's already pasul, like kodesh halechem, it makes a lot of sense. This animal was already pasul. So what if you shechted it? You shechted a pasul animal, and that shchita has zero effect on your bread. But if the psul happened after shchita, or in other words, during shchita, because where does pigul occur? While you shecht, which in the Lashon of Gemara means after shchita, kadosh halechem. So then it has some sort of power. During the shchita, it was still kadosh, It still was a good shchita, but not a good shchita, so Mela, the bread is Kaddish. And he explains, which means that it happened during the shchita or after the shchita, Kaddish Alechem. But if you found out that this animal anyways is going to die this year, so the shchita was no good, Loi Kaddish Alechem. If you shecht it and you find that it's a balmum, so this is exactly our Mishnah. That there's no difference between chutz l'zman and chutz l'makom, and in a balmum we have a machlokes. That's Shittas Reb Meir, and that fits right into our Mishnah. It's a stam Mishnah, goes according to Reb Meir, everything's good. Omer Rabbi Yehuda, no, Rabbi Yehuda is mechulek. Okay, so over here there's no difference between Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Meir. That what everybody agrees, if you find a treifa, in other words, you came to the Beis Hamikdash and you had something that to begin with was a treifa, no good, so it obviously has no power to be mekadosh the bread. And one of the two things, only chutz l'zmanoi, not chutz l'mkoimoi. Chutz l'zmanoi, I also admit that everything becomes, that the bread becomes kaddish. Why? What's the svara here? Chutz l'zman, as we learned throughout Zvachim, a little bit in Menachos, in order for chutz l'zman to work, if somebody has the wrong intent chutz l'zman, he has to have that intent throughout the entire hakravas hakarban. Right? He has to do the shchita of chutz l'zman, he has to do the zrika of chutz l'zman, he has to do it all chutz l'zman. Yeah? So that's chutz l'zman. So if you have to have these kavanas throughout the whole thing, that means you're doing a shchita here. There is a good shchita, just as a puzzle shchita. So since it's a good shchita, so it has the power to be mekadosh your bread. You're doing a good shchita, you're doing a good halacha. If it's a puzzle shchita, then you can't even do a zrika afterwards. It's a good shchita, it's a good halacha, with the wrong intent the whole time. You have mamish kavara the whole time, I'm going to be over Isra. Not only that, you can't be over any other Isra, you can't have any other machshava, has to be pure. Okay, so but akopanim, to the point where im Allah yerid, it gives it a little bit of kedusha to the animal that if you put it on the mizbeach, you don't take it off. That little bit of kedusha is mekadosh your bread. I'm shechting the carbon shlamim, the toida. At the same time, it gives kedusha to the bread. That's
all the way through till Zerika.
Yeah.
You still don't take it off.
You don't.
In other words, you saw
Yeah.
through all the way to the end.
Malala yerid. It has a little bit of kedusha.
Just get burnt up, right? You don't do anything with it.
There's nothing to do. Yeah.
It's pickled. You can't eat it.
Of course not. If you eat it, that's the problem. If you eat it, then you get kares. At that point that you eat it, you get kares.
What do you do with the bread?
If it's kaddish, also burn it. If it has a kedusha.
What if it's one of the chametz breads?
And what's the difference?
You said before you're not
Then
supposed
certainly you should burn chametz. Chametz you have to burn.
to on the best.
What's the difference between chametz and not chametz?
We said that the chametz never goes on the best. The shtei alechem and the
Oh, so you're saying what physically to do with it?
Yeah.
So you throw it in the garbage, put it in the Beis Hadeshem. You're not going to eat it. Zog the Gemara. So now we're still in Rabbi Yehuda. That's Mechulek Rabbi Meir. Ve'al balmum, says Rabbi Yehuda, shaloi kodesh. Now this is also different than Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Meir, we said in a balmum was a machlokes. Whether or not a balmum is kodesh halachim like kodesh. No? Over here, Rabbi Yehuda says no. Balmum, everybody agrees, like kodesh. That makes more sense to us. That a balmum is no different than a treifa. Treifa, everybody holds like kodesh. Balmum also like kodesh. But Rabbi Meir said no. There is a mandama that says that it's kodesh. So where is the machlokes? Says Rabbi Yehuda. Different than Rabbi Meir. In the Mishnah it says there's no machlokes in chutzim koimai. I hold there is a machlokes. The what? Sher Eliezer Omer kodash. Rabbi Shua Omer loy kodash. So Memela, bottom line is our Mishnah has to go according to Rabbi Meir that says there's no machlokes in chutzim koimai. Rabbi Yehuda holds there is a machlokes in chutzim koimai. Now, just to explain what the machlokes is according to Rabbi Yehuda, what's the basis of the machlokes? Omer Rabbi Eliezer, it's very interesting. This is one of the few times where there's like a battle. I say this, you say that. Let's fight it out, and we have to agree there's rules. If I have a good svara better than yours, you have to admit to me on the spot. I win.
Rosh Hashanah, you come with them to the Talmud.
Right. Schlep my stuff to the Beis Hamikdash.
There he didn't agree with the better svara.
What?
There he didn't agree with the better svara. There he forced him with the whole Bezdin thing.
Okay.
That was it. There was no agreement.
Not the same thing. Okay.
He killed him. He destroyed him. That was it. He didn't agree with him.
Says the Gemara. Look at this. We're holding. Where's the Shas? Chazor. Amar Rebbe Lezer. Hoy v'chutz l'zmani pasol chutz l'mkoymi pasol. Ma chutz l'zmani kodash av chutz l'mkoymi kodash. So I say it makes a lot of sense that chutz l'makom should be very similar to chutz l'zmani, right? They always go together. Chutz l'zmani, chutz l'makom, like you were saying, Mr. Rosenberg, right? It's the same category. Chutz l'zmani, chutz l'makom. No, they should have the same halacha. Are we sure? No. Hoy v'chutz l'mkoymi pasol ubal mum pasol. Ma bal mum lo kodesh av chutz l'mkoymi kodesh. So he says no, it's more similar to Balmum. Balmum, and the Gemara is going to explain more. Just like a Balmum doesn't have Kedusha, it's the bread is not Kaddish. So Chutz L'Makom should also be similar to Balmum. Now starts the fight. I compared it to Chutz L'Zmanoi. Makes sense. I don't know why you compared it to Balmum. Mira l'midoima.
You Rabbi Yehuda.
No. Rabbi Lezer and Rabbi Yeshua. These are Rabbi Akiva's Rebbes. And so let's see. Let's figure this out. I'll admit to you. If you're right that it makes some sense to compare it to Chutz Zman, I'll admit to you. You'll admit to me. And if it's doime to a balmum, let's fight it out.
Therefore, if it's similar to this, then what? Then we're
If it's similar to Chutz Zmanoi, then the bread is Kaddish. If it's similar to Chutz L'Makom, we have Chutz L'Makom is in between. Is it similar to Chutz Zman and the bread is Kaddish, or is it similar to Chutz Balmum and the bread is not Kaddish? It makes sense that nothing occurred here. It all happened in the man's brain, in his head. He thought, So Chutz L'Makom is like pigul. It happened in the guy's head. It's not a physical thing. But you're talking about a balmum where there's a physical thing. I could see it. Okay, very good. 1-0. Here's Rabbi Yeshua Ladon
You'd rather compare
to Chutz L'Zman.
to pigul.
To pigul, because it's in the head.
It's in the head. It's on the brain. It's on the mind.
Got it.
Here's Rabbi Yeshua Ladon. Wait a minute. I'm not even going to answer you. All I'm going to say is a tremendous raya, and you're going to have to admit to me. Now, if somebody eats it, you get kares. If somebody eats the balmum, there's no kares. If you eat chutz zman, there's kares, and if you eat a balmum, there's no kares. And chutz l'makom, there's no kares if you eat it. So chutz l'makom is more similar to balmum, where there's no kares. At the end of the day, what's the bottom line? Forget about how it happened. The einish is the same. V'oid, but now that's one raya. Now I have another raya, and you only had one raya. I have two rayas. V'oid niduneno mishaloi l'shmoi shepasul shepsul machshava ve'im by kares. Here it's much similar to Shaloi Lishma, that it happened in his head. I'm going to use your svara of head, and I'm going to say the whole Shaloi Lishma happened in his head, and there's no kares. So I have two things, 2 against 1. Says the Gemara, V'shosak Rebbe
I
Eliezer.
understand what you just said. What did you just say?
Shaloi Lishma.
Yeah, Shaloi Lishma.
How did Shaloi Lishma happen? It happened in his mind, Shaloi Lishma. So it's also a Psul Machshava. They make kares.
So number one, both of them are things which don't have.
Number 2, another thing I can compare it to is Loi L'Shma. I'm taking something else. Yes, but I'm taking
his thing, which the mind thing.
You're taking the mind thing and comparing it to Chutz L'Zman. I'm going to take the mind and compare it to Loi L'Shma. 2-1 says the Gemara V'shosek Rebbe Eliezer. Rebbe Eliezer admitted. What's very interesting is that this whole story, this whole battle, only happened according to Yehuda. It According to Rabbi Meir, this thing never existed. This whole story never
He
happened.
didn't know about it.
No, there's no machlokes. According to Rabbi Meir, there's no machlokes. No, he holds there's no machlokes.
You know, like the Mishnah.
Our Mishnah, there's no machlokes. It's just Rabbi Yehuda. We just said that our Mishnah goes according to Rabbi Meir that there's no machlokes. And according to Rabbi Yehuda, there is machlokes, and not only is there machlokes, there's a whole battle, and one admitted to the other, and great. Fine.
This yid would not be holding this.
Not holding, you wouldn't know about it. Yeah. Zog the Gemara. Rabbi Meir, just so let's go back to that shayla. Meishne shchota v'nimtzes treiva to have a psuli koydem shchita. Meishne shchota v'nimtzes balas mum to have a psuli koydem shchita. Says the Gemara, a very simple question. In a treifa, you explained to me that since the animals possible before you even came to the Beis Hamikdash, you had no right to shecht it. So now that you shechted it, obviously it doesn't give any sort of kedusha to the bread. So then a balmum should be the same exact thing. It was possible before you came to the Beis Hamikdash. Now that you shechted this animal, it shouldn't give any kedusha to the bread. Says the Gemara, you're right. A typical balmum, you're right. We're talking about a different type of balmum. Bedukin sheba'ayin. It's the lowest level mum possible. It's so low, it's a cataract in English. A cataract in the eye, you can't see, you can't differentiate. It's so small, the mum, that a bird that has a cataract is kosher. So you see, it's a very shvach mum.
It's the guy who holds
And an animal, who?
The guy who holds not a mum. That was the whole back this whole thing. That he made it over there. The Chachamim said it's a mum. The guy said it's not a mum.
Fine.
That was Lucas right.
Akol ponim, right? Akol ponim. Yeah, that's what he said, no? Akol ponim. So what do we see? But there's another halacha. The halacha of bedukin sheba'ayin, if you have an animal that has a cataract and you put it on the mizbeach, it doesn't come off. What does that tell me? That tells me it has a little bit of kedusha. Don't consider it as a treifa, which the kedusha never began. It has a little bit of kedusha to the point where you don't take it off the mizbeach. Okay. So Memela, he says, since it has a little bit of a kedusha, that little kedusha gives me kedusha to the bread.
Okay.
That's it. But a regular balmum, you're right, would be the same thing as a treifa. Doesn't give me any kedusha to the bread. And this is the halacha of alu layerdu of bedukin sheba'ayin, according to Rabbi Kiva, that if it just has a cataract, it has a little kedusha, goes on the mizbeach, it doesn't come off. Now, the Rabbi Yeshua, Rashi here is goyres Rabbi Yehuda. Basically, the bottom line is that if you hold that according to everybody, in a balmum, it's not kadosh. Okay, it's not kadosh. Ki Omar Rabbi Kiva im alu layerdu b'psula degufei avli kadushay lechem loy. So he's going to say that even a cataract is only good for it itself, that you don't take it off, but it doesn't have enough power to affect something else that's not negaya to this animal, to affect the bread. It doesn't affect the bread. What? So if you hold that a balmum, everybody agrees that a balmum is just like a treifa, and there's no exception to the rule, even in a balmum, even a cataract. What's the explanation? But a cataract im alu lo yerdu. If you put it on the mizbeach, it doesn't come off, so it has a little bit of kedusha. So the bread should also be kadosh. The answer is yes. It has enough kedusha that if it itself goes on the mizbeach, you don't take it off. The kedusha is so weak though that it has zero effect on breads that are not related to this animal. This animal, if you put it on by mistake, don't take it off. But don't tell me that it's kadosh enough that if the breads that I brought together with it all of a sudden have kedusha that I can't eat it.
The mayor says yes, the says no.
Yeah.
What's the practical
Right.
implication of
Rabbi Yehuda or Rabbi Yeshua, whatever.
What's the practical implication of this? That even though this animal is already on the mizbeach, he has to bring new breads?
You have to bring new breads anyways. The practical implication, you have to burn it. You have to put it in the garbage. I could take it home. There's no kedusha to it. I could use these breads maybe for something else. I could use these breads for the next carbon. I don't have to get rid of the bread. There's no kedusha to it. No kedusha, I start all over again.
By Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yeshua saying this is the real moon, he's actually being made kill on the breads. He's being machmir on the moon, but making on the breads.
Exactly. Yes. If you say im alu layerdu, then the breads are wasted. In alu layerdu, according to one man Omer, not according to Rabbi Yehuda. Zog the Gemara. Itmar, we just learned. No, so the Gemara wants to say that this machlokes that we just had between Rabbi Lezer and Rabbi Yeshua It's very similar to another machlokes. Chatas shechta chutz zmana. If you shech the chatos with the wrong intention of pigul, that I'm going to eat it in 2 days from now. Im also loitered. There's a little bit, like we said, benegiyat to chutz zmanoi, that the whole definition of chutz zmanoi, it has to be chal. The shechita has to be chal. In order to be over on chutz zmanoi, we have to go throughout the whole process. Kech sheirek kach psula. You remember that whole sugya. Yimamish, it has to be like kosher. You have to be able to put on the mizbeach bezrika, the whole thing. So, to the point that the shechita is chal a little bit, and memela if the shechita is chal a little bit, imala lo yered. So over here also, I have a chatos. I had the wrong kavan in it. I said I'm going to eat it b'chutz zman. Nevertheless, I didn't ruin it. It's not like a treifa where it never existed at all. This carbon, it exists, but it doesn't exist. It exists that im ala lo yered, im also lo tered. It's in a cave, right? The chatos is in a cave. Im also it went onto the mizbeach lo tered. Chutz l'mkoyma. What about if I had the wrong intention for chutz l'makom? So we have the same machlokes l'chayra. Rava Omar tered, Rabba Omar loy tered. Rava, okay, it depends on what you go to, but let's just read it Rava in order not to confuse anything. Rabba and Rava, as usual, there's always a shaila, which one is what. Rava says, Ki Rebbe Yeshua. This is all going in Rebbe Yehuda that there's a machlokes, right? Okay, so Rava says, that goes according to Rebbe Yeshua, that what? That chutz l'makom is similar to balmum. And therefore what?
Wouldn't that be working? Because chutz l'makom is weaker anyways.
What kind of boom?
No, that chutz l'makom is like a balmum, and therefore it, what? Tered.
What kind of boom?
Okay, the regular. Rabbo ki Rebbe Eliezer. That you compare chutz l'makom to chutz l'zman. And Mala lo yered. So the Chayr is the same machlokes as the Gemara says. Oh, very good. You should know what happened. In our sugi, we said that Rabbi Eliezer was shoisik, that he admitted to Rabbi Yeshua. So if so, it comes out the Rabbi had admitted to Rava. The Rabbi was moided to Rava. Since Rabbi Eliezer was moided to Rabbi Yeshua, so for the same reason, Rabba will be moided to Rava. No, it's a little bit different. Even though that machlokes, he got him, he proved him that he was wrong. Rabba, it's a different machlokes. Hassam over there by Toida, who they call Malein Dunenu Mishaloi Lishmai. How did he defeat him? Because he said, let's compare it to Shaloi Lishma. Right? He said it's similar to two things. In Shaloi Lishma, but if you're going to do the same trick and try to prove Rava wrong and say that it's similar to Shaloi Lishma, imolzalei tered. What's the whole shaila by chatos? Whether or not, if it goes on, it comes off. If you're going to prove it from Shaloi Lishma, it's going to be a bad proof for you, because when it comes to Shaloi Lishma, imolza lo yered.
So it would be the same.
It wouldn't be. It's different. Then there's still be machlokes. Shchodesh le'lishma. I pointed out in the Mishnah when we send the Mishnah Shchodesh le'lishma all the way at the end of the Mishnah. It says v'chein eil hamiluim, v'chein shnei kivsi atzeres. So the Gemara says, the Gemara asks, Amar Papa, Shabak Tana didon eil nazar the shchiach unokat eil hamiluim. Why did the Mishnah talk about a mashal of an ayil that happened in the first, when they inaugurated the Beis Hamikdash, and not talk about something that could happen on a day-to-day basis? So we wanted to say the first thing that ever happened, the first carbon that's possible to do, Shaloi Lishma, was the Eil Hamiluim that came with bread, and whether or not the bread is Kaddish or not. The first bread, the first bread in history was Eil Hamiluim. We don't care about something that's.
One is the Doros and one is the Shah.
It is, but the point is, I'm bringing you an example of the first thing that ever happened in history. The first time there was a carbon with bread was Eila Miluim. You're right that it's not going to get to us today, and there's something more relevant today, but I just wanted to pick something that was the first.
If we said before that when if it's a puzzle, right, or it's not okay, it's got a mum, it's
Yeah.
not a korban, right? It's not right to be brought to the as a korban. So how is it that it gets a shame korban ever? How does it get a shame korban?
As you shecht it,
You didn't know it was.
what's the problem? If there's no mum, it got a shem korban.
No,
You mean if it had a mum?
Yeah.
If it had a mum?
Yeah, you shecht it, you find that.
That depends according to. L'chayre it doesn't have a shem unless it's the cataract, and according to one man Omar. In Remeir, according to Rabbi Kiva, a cataract. But otherwise, you're right. Fine. It says the Mishnah. I just want to say real quickly that a lot of us are balabatim. We go. Some of us have to go to America occasionally, and I also have to go to America occasionally. And usually, when I go, there's some perks to it, and it's geschmack also. I get to shop a little bit. I get to see my friends.
Why, you go economy class?
I'm going economy actually. Maybe that's what I'm about to say. This time.
He shops only a little bit.
Literally, there's no time to shop. If it comes to my house with Amazon, it's gewaldig. Otherwise,
If it comes.
I bring back coffee.
It comes.
It's geschmack.
It comes.
This time, I could say I'm serious. I have zero chesh to go. Zero. We're mamish smacking me little together. It's hard. It's going to be hard. But I'm coming back. Be'ez Hashem. I'm only there for 3 days. We'll be back Friday. This is mamish golus l'shma.
No.
Yeah, so Baruch Hashem, we left it in unbelievable hands. We have a tremendous learner, Menachos Mata. He's a tremendous Magashir.
You're going to give him that kind of thing?
I was hoping he would split it a little bit with Noam. If you guys... Yeah, you stay there. I think that's a great idea. You stay over there.
It's your place, you stay over there.
Yeah. So, if you guys can convince Noam to say a shir or two, it would be great. Meanwhile, he doesn't want to.
He's saying no.
But yeah, I'm leaving you in very good hands. Zok the Mishnah. 10 minutes. We said Rav Papa. Says the Mishnah. Hanesachim shekotchu bekli v'nimtzo zevach posel. Now we're talking about the nesachim. You take the nesachim that come together with the carbon, you take the wine, you put them in a kli, you're mekadesh them, and then, oops, you find out that the carbon is no good. Now what do? Do you pour the water? Do you pour what?
Because there it's not the shechita, it already became covered.
Yeah. Well, we'll see in a second. Very good point. But as the Mishnah, it seems in the Mishnah, we don't need a shechita here. The fact that you put the wine into a kli, the kli gives it kedusha, and now, I have a problem. Can I use it for something else or not? Im yesh zevach acher.
It doesn't matter if you do it before or after.
Oh, if you,
No.
yeah. So let's see the sugi. That's all part of it. That's what he brought up. Shchita, not shchita. Kli, not klita. Says the Mishnah, and it's a huge chiddush. You're right. And the Gemara actually says that there's a reason behind it because the Bezdin undid it. But without that, you'd be 100% right. We're gonna see.
Like automatically?
Yeah, that's Bezdin. Says the Gemara. Says the Mishnah. Im yesh zevach acher yikirvu imoy. Typically, we don't do such a thing. If you have something that went wrong, you don't use it for anything else. So, no. Where do we have that case? Now I just remembered. I forgot the case, but it was like we had you have to throw out 1,000 korbanos sometimes if something went wrong. We had in
You're saying
Zvachim.
prepared another animal with it.
Whatever the-
Things mixed in, no?
Yeah,
Things got mixed
no,
up.
with the one machshava. Okay. Anyways, im yesh zevachach, you have another carbon. Yikirvu imoy. Then use the nesachim. Just go from carbon A to carbon B. Vimlav, you possibly know. You're talking about if you have a zevach, you have another carbon that you forgot to bring wine. Because if you brought wine and you dedicated the wine, so you can't use double wine, that won't work. But if it was already, I'm saying if it already has kedusha and a kli, then it's not going to work. So you have another zevach sitting there, so you could swap it out. It's not. We don't say that this wine was specifically for carbon A and you can't use it on carbon B.
Have to be the same zeva?
Yeah.
So that's just the general zeva?
Yeah,
Doesn't have to be
but
specific?
everything will be understood in a second. Omar Zeiri. Now, Zeiri comes along, he says a big chiddush. In the Mishnah it says that the kedusha happened in the kli, shekhatshu b'kli. Says Zeiri, no. Einan esachim iskachim elo b'shchitas hazevach. You need two things here. You need the kli, but you also need the shchita, like we discussed before. The shchita also creates a kedusha on the accompanying whatever it is. If it's the breads, and over here in this case it's the wine. My taima. Omakro zevach unesachim. that the zevach goes together with the nesachim. The zevach, the shchita, creates the nesachim. Tanan. So now the Gemara has a catch. It says in the Mishnah, nesachim shekachu bakli. There's a kedusha in the kli. V'nim says zevach pasul. Im yesh zevach acher yikuvim lavi pasul b'lino. Yes.
You said it now.
We just said it the second. Our Mishnah Snan. My love, the psul b'shchita. L'chayra, where did the psul happen? It says it became pasul. Where did the psul happen? It happened during shchita. In other words, there was never a shchita that made it kadosh because the psul happened while I'm shechting, whatever the case is.
So we see it's kadosh before shchita.
Exactly. So you see, it's kadosh before shchita, not like you Zeiri that says you need shchita to make it kadosh. It's enough the kli. Loi. We're talking about the ipsal bezrika. It happened after. Now, Kiman, according to who? Kirebi, the Omar Shnei Dvar Matirim. If you have two things, like Shchita and Zrika, that allow you to eat this animal, Malin Zebeloize. So that was a sugi that we learned in the Mem somewhere, Benegea to Shtei Alechem, and we had a whole sugi over there. If the what's Mikadosh Lechem is the Shchita, the Zrika, the two of them together. So Rebbe holds that one of the two is enough. You don't need both.
You don't need all four.
Yeah, exactly. When we mean two, it means four. It's the first one, the last one. The two in between are also important. Says the Gemara, Afilu Tamer Rebbe Lazar Rebbe Shimon, who holds you need all of them. You need the two. You need Shchita, you need Zrika, all. We're talking about a case. It's an in-between case. He didn't do Zrika, but he did Zrika. What happened? He received the blood in a kli. And Reb Lazar holds like Reb Shimon Bar Yochai that says, so over here, the carbon is puzzle because there's no Zrika that took place. But on the other hand, it's Mekadesh the wine because you can't pretend that you did Zrika to be to make the carbon good, but you can pretend that there was a Zrika to make the wine Kadosh. Omer Mar, im yesh zevach acher yikrivu imoy, v'omer Rav Chizda, shemen shefrisha l'shum mincha, how is bothered by? We have the typical case of if you have oil for a mincha, and I thought that this oil goes for mincha A, I can't use it for mincha B, so why all of a sudden when it comes to wine, I could? Pasul l'shum mincha acheres, Omer Rabbi Yanai, leiv, bezdin, masna leiv. It's different. Wine is different because then I come in, I have bezdin, who we had in Kedushin, they could be Mavatar Kedushin, they could do whatever they want with your money. So when I do something, I'm a Kaddish something, I'm a Kaddish it with whatever Bezdin wants me to do with it. They go into my head and they can manipulate my brain. And they said, it's not Kaddish unless there's an animal that it goes with. If my animal that it went with is no good, I'm going to undo everything. I'm going to take away, it was never your wine, I'm going to take it away from you, whatever. They make a t'nai, and that's it. It goes according to them. So what's the obvious question?
Do that for everything.
Do that for Shemin also. So that's the next question. Says the Gemara, Shemin is different. Shemin begufa the mincha. Where do you put the Shemin of a mincha? In the mincha. It becomes part of the mincha. The mincha became pasul. So I have to view the shemen as part of this mincha already. But wine is all by itself, it's on the side. I bring the carbon one day, I could bring the wine a different day. There's nothing to do. It's not limited. They don't want to mess with it. It's not something they want to mess with. It's the actual mincha. They don't want to do it. Yeah. And I'm going to undo it. I'm going to reverse the kedusha. Yeah, it never happened. I could be mekadesh a wife, and Bezdin says your kedushin that you did, amafkia, your kedushin, that ring that you gave her was never yours. I lived with her for a week. Too bad. I undid it. L'chatchila, l'mafreya. Says the Gemara. Okay, so if you're already telling me that's all about Bezdin, then if Bezdin is strong, let them go all the way. Why did they stop halfway? Why did they say you have to use this wine for another carbon? Let them say, I was mafkia, it was never your money, and you know what? You can take the money home, do whatever you want.
I'll take the wine home and enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Take the wine home. Zero, you can't do that. They could do it, but they didn't want to do it. Why? People will see it. You'll have a Amaris. He's not going to understand about the Bezdin. He'll say, oh, it was in, like Hillel was saying, oh, it was already Kadosh. He doesn't chap that there's left Bezdin and takes it away.
People drinking wine from
So the Gemara, Hashtanami, Gzero, Shem Yorim Nusachim, Shem Frishon, Shem Zevach Zeg, Shem Shem Zevach Acher. What?
They undo Kedusha and Kli. It's like a Doraisa.
No, they could. They said no, but they said it never was your money. It was never his l'chatchila.
Don't take all the
There's money in the Kli. It was in the Kli. It was actually.
Yeah, but it wasn't his. They put somebody else's
Bezin
money.
has a cut to take it anyways.
Yes, to undo it.
Bezin has a cut. He was asking. Bezin has a cut anyways.
L'chatchila never happened. It never happened. It never happened. It
doesn't
wasn't
matter.
his money to
Once
put
it
in
hits the
there.
Kli, it doesn't
I stole your money and put it in
Once
there.
it goes in the Kli, it doesn't make a difference.
It
doesn't make a difference.
I'm afkir the money that happened. I'm not afkir the
Can't do
puzzle.
it. He's saying once it goes into the touches the Kli of Bezin, and Bezin, the Bezin makes it. That's
No,
it.
I don't have the right.
We see this in a lot
We
of
find
places.
out that the Mafreya was never
All
his.
that's the other Elyoina. That's
Fine.
it.
If you have a better terms, let me know.
Just for some
Zer Shem Yomu, it's a more than
I
Gash.
know.
Shem Yomu Nesach Shem Zevach Shem Shem Zevach Acher.
That's
So
the kasha.
it's a kasha. That what we're gonna have somebody there. You're talking about Amaratim here, and so people are gonna see, and they're gonna say, "Oh, just like over there, they took this wine and they put it in another zevach, so I could do something else. I could do it, let's say oil, whatever I could do somewhere else." Otani Matisio ben Yehuda. We didn't have time for that. Good, nice one. I like that. 1-0. What? 2-0 actually. In the last minute. What?
Why don't we say Kram is reason,
And then-
This is in the base of Mikdash.
And therefore
So
what?
the Xera, which we're not going to say the Xera for the Kahana.
Wait, maybe that'll be
When is the
answer.
Xera for everyone else?
Right.
So then
Well,
we say
maybe.
we're afraid that Klisharis is not.
But people
This is
are
our-
going to say, people are going to talk. I don't know what the people will do. They're going to talk. So the Gemara, Adoni Matisya ben Yehuda, Kigon Shoy Zevach Zavuach Bois Shah. It's talking about a specific case. There was a shlamim lying on the ground, and he took it. And he said, "Okay, here, it's on this this animal." So the guy that's Amaretz that doesn't know what's going on here, he's not. He thinks, "Oh, it's for this." He doesn't know anything. He doesn't know Lev Bezdin, and he doesn't know that this animal is no good. He thinks the whole story happened. The whole Nesachim was for this second animal. Okay?
Was it different violent, the second animal?
Yeah. Why
No,
not?
it's rare. They're going to make them bring it again. That's
Says the Gemara, but it's very simple. But if you didn't have the other animal, so then obviously it doesn't work. Adatani say him lavi possible lino. So then why does the Mishnah give me a case that it becomes possible lino if you don't have another animal? Live like listen to the The Mishnah should say a different case. It only works if there's an animal right there and then. The Amaratzim are not going to make a mistake. Or if the Amaratzim are going to make a mistake, there's no animal. Why do you tell me a case? But if it stayed overnight, then it's possible. No, even then and there, I have a case where it becomes possible on the spot. If there's no dead animal laying next to it, it becomes possible on the spot. Why do I have to wait a whole day to make it possible? That's exactly what we meant. Now the Gemara says another thing. Does Reb Shimon even hold of this concept that Bezdin could do it? You have a Tmidim in a specific case, let's say after Purim, like the beginning of Nisan, we have extra Tmidim, we don't know what to do with it. According to Reb Shimon, you can't be part of them. Why, according to Chachamim, could you be part of them? Because lev bezdin masna aleim, which would mean to me that Reb Shimon says mefurish, ein nivdim tmimim. He's going to hold ein lev bezdin masna aleim, and we just said that Reb Shimon holds lev bezdin masna aleim. Shani also it's different by atomed. This lut akanta beria. Reb Shimon is going to say, in a case where I have another way out, to use bezdin and start coming up with bezdin masna is very shver. So if I have a way out of it, I say just let him graze and let him die on his own. Let's do that. But by wine, there's no way to do it. I can't say let the wine graze. What's my way out of it? I have no way out of it. The only way out of it is to use Lev Bezdin Masna Aleim. So even Reb Shimon agrees I can use the concept of Lev Bezdin Masna
I
Aleim.
say let the wine sit until it gets warm. Until it becomes vinegar.
No, wine that sits is better.
No, it becomes vinegar.
Depends. I hear
Put it in a metal clear.
3-0. Says the Mishnah. Vlad, Toida, Utmuroso. Very interesting 3 cases here. We have a Toida that gave birth, right? A Toida is a Shlamim. Shlamim could be either a male or female. We're talking about a female Shlamim that gave birth. Or,
it was Mekadesh and
yes,
before it was
exactly. Right before you brought it up, it gave birth in the Beis HaMikdash somewhere. Or Utmuroso. What's a Tmura? A Tmura is if I have an animal. All I had at the time was a skinny, Nebuch-looking animal. And then I got my hands on a nicer animal. So I said to myself, why should I bring HaKadosh Baruch Hu this little animal? Let me bring him a nice Zaftika animal. The halacha is, the Torah says, it's also to do. Don't do it. But if you did it, the second one becomes just like the first one. Hivrish, they both become Kadosh. Hivrish Toida. And what about if another case, a third case? I designated a Toida. V'avda, and it got lost. V'hivrish acheres tachtel. And I went and I did the right thing. Now I'm a chuyev to bring another Toida. And then all of a sudden I find the original one. So the question is, what do I do with the bread? Does the baby Toida need bread? Does my Tmura need bread? And does my substitute need bread? Or maybe the substitute I could shecht with bread, and does the original need bread? Says the Gemara, says the Mishnah, Eina Tuna Lachem. Shenemar v'hikriv al zevach hatoida. We're going to get to the chart soon. The Gemara brings this pasuk and goes into depth. Hatoida tuna lechem v'lo yivlada v'lo chilufa v'lo tmurasa tuna lechem. There's a hatoida, one gets bread, not 2. Tana Rabbana. Ma oimer toida yakriv. So here's the pasuk. Im al toida yakrivenu. Oh, it's nice, color coded. It's getting better. It's gonna get nicer on the screen. Don't worry, I left a bunch of these charts for Menachos. I can guarantee there's no charts. He's preparing the daf during davening. Don't give him a hard time. Maybe we don't know. Surprise us, Menachos. Fine. Im al toida yakrivenu v'hikriv. So there's a double lashon here, really. Yakrivenu v'hikriv. What's going on here? We can get rid of one of these words. So the Gemara says, Toido Yakriv, Minayin lemafresh toidasoi v'avda v'ivrish acheres tachteha v'nimtzas harishoyne. He found the first one. Arei shteim oimdois. Minayin chezim em shiyirtzi Yakriv. This is an interesting lashon. You could be makriv any one that you want. What does that mean? Any one? It means, of course, you have to be makriv both, but you can make one count. One of the two you can make count. This is my toida. The second one, of course, you have to bring. You can't bring it home. And only one of them gets the breads, and the other one won't get breads. Yakriv. Okay. So right now the Gemara is taking off the Yakrivenu, ignoring the Nun Vav. Yakriv. As if it says Yakriv, and that's enough, because we're going to use the rest of the pasuk for the word for another limud. Maybe the second one also needs bread. No. So here it's highlighted in red. No, it only one. Echad v'lo shnayim.
Keep making 2 different limud of that word.
Yeah,
Yakriv.
Yakriv and Yakrivenu. I could have said Yakriv. Imatoy the Yakriv. Yakrivenu. The whole nu is extra. Echad v'lo shnayim. Achas riba kosov umiyet. I'm sorry, how do you read this? So we have an exclusion, we have an exclusion. Minayin l'rabbis v'lodos v'chalivos tmuris la'akrava. Talmud loymar im al toido. The word al, right over here, al means in addition to, more than. Al, in addition to. Im al toido. If, in addition to my toida, which means the baby and the substitute. Yochol yutunois lechem That we already said a second ago that it's not, that's not Ton Lachem, but that was talking about a Tmura. Now we're talking about the baby, not the Tmura. Talmud Loimar v'hikriv al zerach hatoida. Hey, hatoida, the toida tuno lechem v'loy vloda v'loy chilufa, and this is just extra. V'loy tmuras is just agav. The other two words tuunim lechem. Have a great week. I'll see you Be'ezer Hashem on Friday.
There was a very big terror attack